In the early 90s, before mobile phones, before SatNav, how did people get to parties? This is 1993. I've been invited to a flat warming party in Beckenham by Lorna. She's given the address down the bottom, but she hasn't given me the postcode. I mean, after all, I wasn't a postman. You only put postcodes on letters when you posted them in the postbox. So how did I get there? Well, this card she gave me, inside were instructions. She basically said, from East Croydon Station, and note the little diagram she got there for a train, catch a 54 bus to Elmer's End Green, but get off at the stop before, because it's a request stop, and with the garden centre on your left, walk forward to the lights, and she's given a nice little diagram of what lights look like, what I did know, but never mind. Turn left and walk over the bridge, which is having work done to it, she said. I guess that there may have been more than one bridge, perhaps a bridge that hadn't been work being done to it. But anyway, and on your left, going over the bridge, is Elmer's End Station. And she's given me another little diagram of a train. I wonder why she didn't ask me or tell me to just go to Elmer's End Station from... Anyway, on your right are yellow buff colour flats, which is where she lived. And there are sale signs for sale signs and sold signs along the fence. And then follow her map. Here's the map. A sticky note, a post-it note was stuck to the card. A little diagram of stick figure, me on the right hand side there. Over the bridge. And I'll flip this round. And then into the car park. And that's where her flat was, on the corner. I guess there were no signs saying where the flat numbers were. But anyway, so that's how it was done in 1993. How did I get to East Croydon Station? That's a good question. There's no trams then. I was working at Norbury at the time, which is also where Lorna was working. This was a Saturday. I used to drive to Norbury. It's quite possible I just drove there and arranged with the security guard that I could leave the car in the firm's car park over the weekend. And then took a train from Norbury to East Croydon, which is quite simple. And perhaps Norbury to Elmer's End was more complicated. But anyway, that's example number one. Let's have a look at example number two, a bit further afield. A wedding invitation. To Rochester, of all places, to Becky and Grant's wedding on the Thursday, the 12th of August. So I took that day off and the following day, and because I knew them through a friend who worked at Maidstone, I drove down to his house, stayed at his place. I think his wife drove us to Chatham, where the Chatham Registry Office was, which is where the actual wedding took place. And then we drove over to Rochester, and the reception was at the Casino Cabaret Rooms. I have no idea if they're still there. I can't remember where we parked, but me and my mate, we did have quite a bit to drink, and she drove us back to their house. She wasn't in a good mood. I wonder why that was, but never mind. And then I drove home from there. And this map actually came with the invitation showing me where the registry office in Chatham was and the Casino Cabaret Rooms in Rochester was. Now, I had parties at my house, and the invitations I sent out, I printed myself. And it always rained when I had a barbecue. There's the brick barbecue there on the left-hand side, and the builder of said barbecue on the right-hand side, standing in the shorts, my cousin Tony. But as I say, it was rather wet. And since we've had no rain for the last couple of months here, I'm kind of looking forward to it raining again. Perhaps you are too. Hope you enjoyed this little video. Press the like button, subscribe, etc. Bye for now.